Hey guys, I want to share with you a special testimony of mine and how the Lord got to me, what He used to draw me in, and then how He led me out of the land of Egypt. Just in the sense, not literally, but it's a special testimony of mine. And I was living for the world. Thinking, success was about money and the things you have, how hard you've worked to get what you have, just the typical, behavior and the way that most people been brought up. And, so I was working a job that, in a position that I truly didn't desire. I only chose it because it paid more money. In the end, it didn't bring happiness. I felt like I was stuck in a mental prison, kind of a living nightmare, so to speak. And, I just want to share with you how the Lord led me out of that once I put all my trust in Him. And had a guy from another Goodyear who's now my brother in Christ, and he used to stop in quite a bit, and we would talk briefly, but nothing. We didn't really get to know each other. Didn't really have the time, and the Lord kept using him, popping him in and out of my life, and there's definitely a glow about him. He had a light. You could see it. He wasn't living for the world, and just you could see there was a cleanness about him. But he ended up. He'd bring his personal cars, and we'd work on them. And I did an alignment for one of his cars personally. He dropped off and left with me and trusted me with it. I really liked this car. I told him if he was to ever sell it, let me know. And one evening he was sitting in the driveway with a guy I happen to know who actually came to my wedding. His name's Randy. And anyways, they were sitting in the parking lot for late at night, just talking as I was closing the place down, and I just seen a car sitting out in the middle of the parking lot, not parked, just out in the middle. So I go over there to see what's going on, and find out it ended up being Jeremy. And then it was so dark I couldn't tell who was in the passenger seat, but he knew who I was, and it's like, hey, I was at your wedding. And I looked a little, got to look a little closer and realized who it was. So we got to talking, and they were talking about church, and he had a place in Diamond, so piqued my interest, and but nothing really came of it. At that time I was interested, but I didn't act on it at that time. So some time passes, and I'm actually getting ready to leave to go to Florida for family vacation, take my family, and I get a phone call, and he asks, he tells me he's selling the car. Asked if I wanted to buy it, and I was like, well, yeah, I do, but we're actually going to be leaving. We're actually leaving for Florida. I won't be back for a couple weeks. So if you have to sell it to somebody, I understand. He goes, no, man, that gives me time to clean it up for you. And so I was like, sweet, yeah, I'll take it. I'll come get it when I get back. So I end up, once we get over the family vacation, we get back, I end up going over there to purchase the car. And my daughter starts asking questions, and just opens up the conversation about the Lord. And he was willing to answer any questions in his personal life and regarding the Word. And going through and listening to everything he said, and I answered questions that I'd never really been able to have answered before, and sparked my interest enough to get me in the Word, and verify the things that he said. But not only that, it ended up getting us to go to church. So we started attending church, and at that time, and I didn't know what I was walking into or what to think, but wasn't a traditional church building or anything like that. But once I went in, I could tell they were truly humble servants of the Lord, and truly wanting to get people saved and serve the Lord, and that's all they're there to do. There's no hidden agendas, no cults, no fame. It's not about the money. It's strictly just serving the Lord and doing the will of the Father, and getting people saved. And so I knew right there, that my heart was attached, and that was truly the fruit of the Holy Spirit. So I dug in, but as this is happening, as I'm attending church, I realize my priorities are in the wrong place, and why all of my problems at work, and my headaches, and mental captivity, and stress, and to the point where it was affecting my physical health, mental health, and everything all around. I knew I had to make a change, and so I didn't know how I was going to make a change, because I had a lot of bills, and a lot of debt. So I felt like I was kind of stuck. I could just go search other jobs, but it'd probably be tough to find one at that time that was going to pay to support my bills. So I just broke down. I said, I put all my trust in you, Lord, and all I want is more time with my family, and more time to be able to serve you. And it wasn't but just maybe a couple of days, few days. I never even had a chance to search for the opportunity or a new job or anything. The door just opened, and still within the same company, Goodyear, and he offered me a position, and it was Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, where before I was working 50 to 60 hours a week. So I had to think, long and hard, and because I figured I would be taking a pay cut and everything, because technically I felt like I would be going to kind of a demotion within the company. But I prayed about it and thought about it long and hard, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't just running away from where God wanted me at the workplace I was at, but I also know that I've done everything as far as witness to everybody I worked with, for all those who had the ears to hear, and did what I could at that in that workplace, and I felt like I was pretty much stagnant, and there was no more room for growth for me in the Lord at my current workplace. So I knew I did what I was set out to do, what the Lord wanted me to do, and what He trusted me to do. while I was there in my workplace, to setting a good example and praising His name. And so I moved out on faith, and not knowing what I was going to get paid, I just had to put my trust in the Lord, and I knew that He would provide, because I knew this was Him saving me and moving me out of the land of Egypt and guiding me to the promised land. So I took the job without unknowingly what I was going to get paid or anything, and the Lord blessed it. He more than covered for my bills. He gave me a company vehicle to cover my gas back and forth. So He more than blessed it, and it's amazing. If you can't see the Lord's hand through all that, you've got to be blind. He used the car to draw me in, so He knew I love cars, and used a guy, of the Lord, a man of the Lord, that was still within the same company, to draw me in and to bring me to the Lord, and to help guide me, teach me, and then to help me establish a personal relationship with the Lord, to where now I seek in His Word for myself, and not just listening to anybody who claims to be a godly person, or claims to be a teacher in the Word. So I've now got a greater discernment of good and evil, and glean from many people, but ultimately I get in the Word myself and gain a relationship with my Father, and that's what He wants us to do. You're going to need somebody. You may need somebody to help you get started, to maybe answer questions that you just don't understand, but don't be afraid to ask. It's not worth not knowing the truth. So man, I hope you can glean from this, and I hope it can help you. Maybe you're going through a similar situation where you're at a job you don't like, and maybe you just need to put your trust in the Lord. Maybe God's calling you to Him. So and He'll use whatever He has to get to you, to reach out to you. So I have a buddy of mine who has a similar situation. He's a brother of Christ, and one of my best friends. He actually inspired me, calling my car a God car, and using it as a testimony. And because he has a similar situation, his story's a miracle and very amazing as well, and how the Lord worked and played in his situation. So, hopefully he can share that testimony to the world, and I know he is personally, and whatever form he can do that. But man, he has a very powerful testimony on how the Lord worked in his life with the car that the Lord gave him, and how he didn't know how he was going to move in a situation when he had to move from one city to another, and just didn't have the money, and how the Lord provided miraculously, and it's just a miracle. So I just want to encourage anybody, if you're having problems, stop trusting in yourself and start putting your trust in the Lord, and allow Him to guide you through life. You'll be much happier. You'll have much more joy, I promise. So man, I hope you enjoy this and glean from it, and help you walk through your spiritual journey. So, all right, guys, have a good evening.